Ahoy mateys, my name is Mike Bonadies with the Merchants of Business, and today we're going to talk about a money-making moment. A money-making moment is where our suppliers have had problems and we've helped them solve those problems. The problem. We were working with a client who had just acquired a new plant in Canada from a merger. They recently performed an audit on this new plant and found a boatload of excess and obsolete inventory. Typically, they would use in-region E&O clearance tactics to get rid of the excess and obsolete inventory off their books. But at the time, Canada was actually going through a bit of a market dip on this type of finished product that they had found inside their plant. With that being the case, they would have to either develop an alternative solution that would clear the E&O, or they would have to live with an influx of E&O on their books. The solution. We used cross-regional dynamics to flip the excess and obsolete product in the neighboring United States. The product in question was considered a medium to high tier product in the categories it played in, but the caveat was it was an exclusively Canadian brand. In most markets, this Canadian brand wouldn't really carry any weight, and to build up and spend marketing resources on E&O to intrude an already established market would be a waste of resources on another region's P&L. So what we did is we turned to the upper Midwest, specifically the areas and states that bordered Canada. In these markets, there was just enough knowledge of these Canadian brands that we would have to spend zero resources on marketing the product due to the proximity of Canada and that customer's base knowledge of these Canadian brands. We targeted a larger distributor that could handle the risk and get the foot traffic to launch this E&O in select stores in the upper Midwest. Most of the product was sold in the black, which means there was no profit, but there wasn't a loss either. And if you think about that, that's a much better alternative than just holding onto the inventory and soaking up working capital. In the end, it created a win-win-win situation. Our customer, they got rid of their E&O, they cleaned up their books and got working capital. The distributor, they received a fat margin on a heavily discounted product, so they saw a lot of margin dollars come in. And then our distributor's customers won as well because they got a heavily discounted product from the retail perspective. And they saw a favorable exchange rate when they purchased in American dollars versus Canadian dollars. The lesson. It's easy to get hyper-focused on one way of executing solutions. Sometimes the peripherals is exactly what you need and can be the key to your success. Can you take a tried and true method of executing a decision, tweak one variable, and get a better result? Markets aren't black and white like lines on a map. They bleed over one another, and in those areas where they bleed over and mix, that's where unique opportunities can arise. I hope you guys enjoyed this money-making moment. If you're interested in learning more about channel management, P&L ownership, or distribution and sales, then click subscribe. Again, this is Mike Bonadies with the Merchants of Business, and that's great business decision making.